Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to An Impact on Your Health. An Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. An Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. An Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today it is a Friday version of the show. Going to get a little Boresha here right at the beginning with Dr. Angela Mitsos, bring us up to speed. And by the way, we're going to be announcing another tasting, folks. If you happen to miss the numbers of them have already occurred in Western Pennsylvania. Get ready to leap on the next opportunity to try the Boresha products. Anyway, we'll spend the first segment with Dr. Angela Mitsos this morning, and then we'll move on to opening them up today. It is a Friday version of the show. We'll let you call up and discuss anything on your mind, and it'll be okay with me. Of course, to do that, on the Boresha matter, as well as any other, you know the number to dial up, 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We'll give that number additionally throughout the hour. Okay, so let's take a look at this schedule. I want to mention that last night really didn't enjoy the energy filled the room when Janet McKee took to the microphone. That lady's got more. She's got more energy than a dynamo, and always pleasant. She captivated the audience last night, talking about bacteria, intestinal bacteria, and a host of other things. I enjoyed beating the audience. I enjoyed having the opportunity to meet many of you. You're nice and kind enough to come on up, and always a few kind words that you pass to me are enjoyed. Look forward to the next version of this, which will be next month. We'll be announcing soon the guests. Already scheduled, by the way. I have a flyer, and I can't locate the thing, so rather than giving you partial information, I'll just wait until Monday and give you the whole thing. Now, tomorrow, folks, and there's one day left, there's a slot or two left, the TLS program begins. I've been talking about this TLS program. The LDS stands for Translation of Lifestyle Systems, and it is you can make it what you want to make it, a weight loss program. You could call it that. You could call it a carbohydrate control program, a pre-diabetic and prevention of real diabetes program, a whole bunch of ways. Anyway, in 10 weeks, you're going to learn how to attain the goals, whether it's for blood sugars or weight, through the help of Patricia Szymanski. She's been on our show a couple of times, and I think she's done herself well in explaining how she thinks it will go. With the slot or two that are remaining, if you have an interest and you want to coach and you want to be able to have some help reaching the goals and objectives, which I think is just so doggone important, give us a call today so we can get you enrolled. These are held every Saturday morning. The first one tomorrow at 9 o'clock at the South Point exit of I-79. You can also approach that for something called the Morganza Road. If you're local to the area, you know what I'm talking about. There's a shopping plaza located right along Morganza Road at the South Point exit. Oddly enough, the best landmark I can give you for a weight loss program is the office is right next to Vincent's Pizza. That'll help guide you in. Anyway, look forward to seeing you all day. I'll be there tomorrow morning. And for those that have an interest, give us a call today. Remember, 724-942-3002. On Monday, a couple things. Our guest will be Susie Weiss, and she'll be talking about essential oils in preparation for her visit here to my office. which is going to be on Thursday, October 2nd. There's a time shift, folks. Sometimes it's late, sometimes it's early. This is in the midway, the mid-between 1 o'clock. If you want to learn more about essential oils, especially through a company called Young Living, give us a call at that number, 724-942-3002, so we can reserve a spot for you. If we spend some time with Susie, she'll acquaint you on how you can use essential oils, whether they're topical, ingested, or inhaled, to get some pretty interesting medical benefit in a very pleasant way. Susie Weiss will be our guest. Also on Monday, got to mention, a lot of questions come up about the eye protocol. And the eye protocol for October, meaning that 3-day treatment program, is going to be held here in my office on the 13th, 14th, and the 15th of the month. In preparation for that, we get a lot of calls from people having questions about the program. We frequently do free seminars, and we're going to be doing one on Monday, 5:30 here in the office. If you're afflicted with eye diseases, especially the retinal ones like macular degeneration or glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy, and even though it's not a retinal problem, cataracts also qualify. You want to be involved with this program to get your vision issues turned around in 3 days. I know it sounds unbelievable, especially if you've never heard me discuss this before, but a full discussion of the program, free to you, on Monday, 5:30 here at my office at 3075 Washington Road. Just call that number to schedule a seat. If you want to get more information on the program, ask for Sister Sarah. She'll be happy to help you out. Let's see. What else? Anything else I got to bring to your attention? Oh, hey, I just got them yesterday. We talk an awful lot about ozone therapy here, and as much as we've talked about it, there's still a lot of confusion out there. People are sort of picking up the conversation late. They're intrigued when they hear about ozone, and they ask, what is that? And so I can tell by their first question or two that it's a topic that's very unfamiliar to them. What we did do, even though you can get these free by going to my website, I'm talking about the radio shows that I did with Dr. Frank Schallenberger back in September, February, and April. What we did was we put them on CDs. Couple reasons for that. One, a lot of my listeners don't have computers, and to tell them to go to my website is very difficult for them. You have to involve granddaughters and grandsons and everything else. So we now have, as of this very moment, transferred the 3 Schallenberger shows onto CDs, so that you either A, if you could never dial them up on my website before, you can now hold a copy of it. B, I think for posterity's sake alone, you'll want to have a copy of this, just to know that it's in your possession at any time. And C, you need it for a reference, because questions about ozone therapy will continue to come up, not just now, but as time moves on. Neighbors will confront you. People will say, what is that? You're going to be a little tongue-tied trying to explain it. Give them a disc. Let them loan them the disc. It'll turn out to be a great $5 investment. Anyway, we got 2 discs. One is the compilation of the 3 shows that I did with Dr. Frank Schallenberger. They're all on 1 disc. Another disc, all by itself, is a show that I did off of a Frank Schallenberger article entitled 13 Reasons to Do Ozone Therapy. And quite a list of them there. So it couldn't be put on the other disc unless you had the newer players. And I don't understand the techie answers behind it, but the way it's set up now, any player, any computer, any CD player can play these, and $5 a disc, just to cover the cost. Really, folks, we're not interested to be getting rich over this CD. I just think you got to have it. So give us a call here at the office if you want to order one. We can send them out. The number you should know by now, 724-942-3002. And that about rounds out what I wanted to say. We had a quick knock. I hope that person is still there. Anybody in the store? Go right ahead. I guess I got a little winded, and I scared you away. Hey, come on back. I promise to take it. All right. here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break. In the interim, we're going to find Dr. Mitsos and talk about Boresha, give you a Boresha update. By the way, he will announce a new tasting, folks. They're happening all over the place. This one is in a place I think you'll know be pretty familiar with. Be right back in a moment with Dr. Angelo Mitsos and Boresha.
You're going to open up the lines later in the show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Friday morning version of the show. Getting quite common that at least if we're going to have a get 'em up out of town version, we have a little offering on a neat company with one-of-a-kind products that we've been doing for a few months now. It looks like it's really caught on. The interest is out there. People that try these products really enjoy them. There are a set of drinks, folks. A coffee, a tea, a lemonade, a sweetener that's out of this world, and so healthy for you that you just got to try it. Our go-to person on this particular subject since day one has been a local podiatrist from up in the Newcastle area who familiarized me with the products and assists me and helps me so much in spreading the message of Boresha to all of you. So we bring him back again today. It's Friday morning. He has some freedom. He isn't in the operating room doing pediatric surgeries. He's here with us talking about Boresha. His name is Dr. Angelo Mitsos. Dr. Angelo, thanks for coming aboard this morning.
Hey, good morning again, Dr. Courtney. It's good to be back.
I know you enjoy it. I enjoy having you here. We talk incessantly. We text one another incessantly. And you happened to text me last night while I was sitting there just numb, listening to Janet McKee talking about intestinal bacteria, and I forgot I hadn't discussed anything with you about today's show. I took the opportunity, very sly and slick, and I texted you back, said, thank you so much. So we could bring you aboard today and give us an update on what's happening new with Boresha. So with that as the backdrop, what's new with Boresha?
Well, as you said, Dr. Courtney, we want to be back in your office, and now we have an official date. It's going to be the second Wednesday in October. That's Wednesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. right back in your beautiful office down there in the South Hills.
Well, you know, you don't have a penchant for the flair and the panache. You just came out. You blurted it out. You got to dangle that a little bit, okay? But you just blurted it out. Okay, so there it is, folks. I told you that Dr. Mitsos was going to bring you information about another tasting, and without any intrigue, he just blasted it. But there it is. It's out there. It's going to be in my office. Many of you who took the opportunity the first time around, I was way back, by the way, on August 18th. That was the first one we had. And now here it is a couple months later. Certainly time has arrived to give people an opportunity. If you were in the first bunch, that's okay. You can come back. Okay, come on back and enjoy. Describe a tasting for our listeners. What's going to happen on that day? And I enjoy being involved with that particular one, and I really encourage the other ones that have surfaced since then. But let our listeners know what they can expect on October the 8th at 6:30 in my office here at 3075 Washington Road. Go ahead, Dr. Mitzos.
Well, this is a very casual experience. I mean, imagine like a wine tasting. You just walk around and sample the delicious Boresha products, experience the deliciousness, and see that these are all natural products that are very beneficial. And then we get to talk a little bit, answer questions. I mean, leave your notebook at home. You don't have to take notes. This is not a classroom type of thing. Just get to meet and answer questions and just have a really good time with positive people.
Well, it wasn't too long ago. In fact, 1 week ago, we all met up on a Saturday morning out there across the street from Phipps Conservatory. What a backdrop, because what a gorgeous day it was. But once again, I had a chance to see close up a whole bunch of people step up and try the Boresha line of products. I got to tell you, the one that was best of show, if there ever was a winner, it was the coffee, Angelo. Okay, anybody who tasted the coffee I'm going to say 100% agreement that this was an excellent tasting drink. When it comes to the taste, everybody has a comment. Now, I hear things like, well, a little sour for me, maybe a little too sweet. I mean, always a comment to make it something that they would critique like you would expect anybody to, but no critiques when it comes to that coffee, Angelo. Talk to us about those three products quickly so that we can let our listeners know what things are out there and available that I can say or go to when it comes to just a great healthy drink to help you lose weight.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the coffee, number one, is organic, and so that is very important. It is made using an infrared roasting system, which is very, very unique. I mean, you don't find that in too many places. So by being organic, of course, there are no pesticides, there's no fertilizers. The infrared roasting system creates no bitterness. A lot of times you have a cup of coffee and there's a degree of bitterness. The other thing the infrared roasting does is that essentially there's limited acidity. Some people cannot have coffee. They can't enjoy the benefits of coffee because of, let's say, acid reflux or those type of problems. So in addition, the infrared roasting system preserves the nutrients, the antioxidants that are found in coffee.
Yeah, go ahead, Angelo. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
If you want to say something about coffee, I was going to move on.
Well, I was going to say, when you use the word acid, I get like a punch in my gut because this company called Starbucks, I take a sip of that Starbucks thing, I double over in my gut because I cannot handle that. To me, now this is personal. The probably is a wonderful product. It's like battery acid. How can somebody drink that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're getting stories all over that they just don't experience that with the Boresha fat-burning coffee. But there we go. We left out probably the most exciting benefit, and that it's thermogenic.
Thermogenic. What does that mean for our listeners?
Well, these amazing scientists have found a way to create energy by targeting of the fat cells, and so that's where the heat, or the literal term for thermogenesis, is the production of heat. But specifically by targeting the fat cells, apparently there is an enzyme that blocks the release of glucose into the bloodstream, and so rather than using energy in that form, we're able to target the stored fat as a source of energy. So that's very exciting.
No, what he just said, folks, I think was, if you drink this stuff, and I like to put it this way, Andrew, and go sit in the chair, you're going to lose weight by having drank these products, even though you might not be exercising or anything. You're just sitting in a chair. But this thermogenesis, and I got to tell you, the scientists backed you up on this. I questioned them right out of the chute when I first got involved with Boresha because I didn't want to bring a bogus claim to the airways here. But when scientists that represented this company were able to discuss on my show the answer that you just gave in scientific terms and back up what I believe thermogenic meant, then it was that when you won me over. I absolutely can vouch for the fact that that happens because the scientists say it's so. And when you represent a company multi-million-dollar like this, you better watch what you say or the federal government will shut you down. That's why I feel so good about having the scientists. They were the very first people I brought on the show. If you remember, Angela, I said, I want to talk to the scientists. Well, I did. I will admit that they kept asking me before I brought them on the show, hey, what are you going to ask me? What are you going to ask me? They were very nervous because they knew how important the answers were going to be taken and that they're going to be held accountable. They won in every category. I just had to mention that. I think it's a big deal when the company's scientific community back up 100% the claims that are made. These aren't bogus claims. These are actual claims. So thermogenic, check it off. It happens with these products.
Yes, and then we move on to the delicious peach mango tea. This comes from a green tea extract, and it has this patented soluble chromium, which is very important in balancing the blood sugar.
Blood sugar, sure.
And then one of your favorites is the delicious lemonade, which is able actually to promote the release of human growth hormone. But it's very delicious, also thermogenic, and we were able to sample that out there at the Walk for the Cure on Saturday, this past Saturday. And then, of course, the sweetener now, we really promoted that because especially for juvenile diabetes this past Saturday, this is a product that's safe for children. There's no aftertaste, and it looks like sugar. It feels like sugar. You can bake with it. It's absolutely delicious, and it is providing a big answer and solution to all these artificial products out there that we see that they're everywhere. And if you read ingredients, as you read packages on these diet products, these sugar-free products in a grocery store that common logic would say are healthy, in contradiction to that, they're actually contributing to this obesity and type 2 diabetes epidemic.
Well, yeah, you've now mentioned all the products. They all possess, I say, 4 properties. I'm going to throw them out there. I think the thermogenic thing you've already explained. How about let's take the next one up? Satiety quenching. I used a fancy word, but put that in regular terms. What does that mean with these products?
Well, because the products have a low glycemic index and a low glycemic load, in other words, the type of absorption is not going to spike the blood sugar levels, and consequently, it won't spike insulin levels. And so this will provide a sustained energy, and so we're not hungry all the time. The problem with these energy drinks and a lot of the products, the so-called diet products, you'll be hungry like in 10 to 15 minutes after you consume them, and you might get a little bit of an energy rush, but then you get this crash, and then you're hungry right away. So we're able to solve that problem for sure.
Excellent. The third component, I believe you've just mentioned it, but it's what you expect from anybody that's claiming that they're able to bring you a product that helps you lose weight. That means low glycemic. It's an industry word. What's meant by low glycemic index?
Well, again, it's a measure of how carbohydrates are absorbed and how they affect the blood glucose level. And with the Boresha products, because they're low glycemic, with a low glycemic load, the glucose is not going to spike, and you will not get that crash afterwards, where you're getting this, these hunger pangs. And I think the next thing you probably want to talk about is the cephalic response.
Oh, you knew that was, because to me, that was the scientific principle I never thought of before. You're the first, this company was the first to bring it to my attention they bring it to our attention because they have won over it when no other drink that has ever been on the market has claimed to blunt, I'll use the term, blunt the cephalic response. I'll let you explain it. I think it's a beautiful mechanism that only Boresha products, as far as I've ever been able to read, are able to provoke. Blunting the cephalic response. What's that mean?
Well, what that means is products that are so-called diet or they are sugar-free, or again, you see this everywhere, the pink packet, the blue packet, and the yellow packet, because the artificial sweeteners have essentially zero carbohydrates, there really is not a glycemic measurement. So now we have to come up with a new concept called a cephalic response. So what we have found is that because of the degree of sweetness, these diet products are actually much more problematic. And as soon as that degree of sweetness hits the tongue, there's a message sent to the brain. The brain just thinks that we just had a bowl of sugar. And so there's a chemical cascade, that hormonal release of insulin, which is a fat-storing hormone. And so now we've created more of a problem. And the evidence to this is that the proliferation of artificial sweeteners happened almost exactly 30 years ago in the early 80s. We did not have this problem. Sugar existed before 1980. And so what has happened is this proliferation of these artificial products is actually a major contribution, in my opinion, a major contribution to the obesity and type 2 diabetes epidemic. All we have to do is go out there and just look around. It's everywhere around us.
Well, that is I tip my hat to the scientific community there at Boresha that brings this into play, because it really, no matter how good all the other stuff is, if it allows a cephalic response to be released, you just blew the reason that you drank the stuff for. I mean, people are drinking diet drinks, and you're right about the pinks, the blues, and the yellows, okay? They have always had those sweeteners in it. And because it says right on the packet, 0 calories and 0 carbohydrates, the assumption was this is the most excellent thing I can take to not gain weight. When in fact, I keep saying, and I know it's getting old, but you might as well if you have a sip of one of those drinks, you might as well have eaten a plate of spaghetti, if you know what I mean, because you get that gush of hormones, because you get a full-blown cephalic response. And Boresha's products won't allow that to happen. I think that's just so unique, so different, that you got to scream it from the rooftops. It's what makes it so good and healthy when other ones appear and give an appearance of being healthy, but absolutely the wrong effects are going to occur and make you completely unhealthy. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the cephalic matter.
Yes, and if you go to your website, the PittsburghEyeProtocol.com, I mean, you're going to see multiple testimonials of people that just substituting. It takes a lot of willpower. Using traditional diet programs, it takes a lot of willpower. But what if you just changed out your coffee? Because people are going to drink their coffee anyway. People want to have their drinks anyway. And the testimonials on the website are absolutely incredible.
Well, folks, you're going to have an opportunity, if you would like to try it on us, meaning October 8th in my office, 6:30. Is it 6:30 again? Is that right?
Yeah, we'll be there around 6.
6:30. All the products will be here to sample. Give them a try. For those of you who say, well, I'm not going to get this without trying it first, there's your opportunity. Others of you who just are saying, you know what, that particular place is not geographically pleasing to me at 6:30 in the evening, so they want to say, let me just try some on my own. Yes, going to my website at Pittsburgh Eye Protocol. Now, what the heck does the eye thing have to do with Boresha? Well, it's just that that's the repository for all the products that I endorse, all of them. So when you go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com, click on the product icon, and it takes you to the full list of the products I endorse. But right there at the top is the click-on component for Boresha International. When you click on that, you get taken right into my store on the website. Now, what do they do there, Angela, if they want to purchase this product?
Well, the least expensive way is to look for that pink banner and just join as a representative. One-time fee of $49, or the startup fee of $49, and you get the wholesale price. And that's the least expensive, most prudent way to get to approach.
Exactly. And they have, for those of you that just want to like test it, they have, I think these neat little things are called sample packs.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, you don't have to get completely crazy with this. You can get 1 or 2 sample packs, sample them, and then you can have your own tasting in your own home to know if this is something you want to really spend some time with. I think the products will win you over. That coffee, no one's ever said a bad thing about that coffee. People do comment about sweet and sour. They have their own individual thing, but the coffee, for in this country of ours, for how much coffee is consumed, we seem to have a winner here. I got to tell you, you got to try that coffee and replace the one you're using, especially that battery acid thing. Whatever the heck people could do to swallow that stuff, I don't know. But the most reasonable way to purchase the product is, as Angelo says, $49 fee allows you to purchase the product at the same price I can purchase the product for. By the way, if you're in my office, I'll give you some samples just to take home. And whether it's before the Boresha testing or after, you'll always be able to get some samples here. Anything else we need to say about this?
No, in terms of the products, we're good, Dr. Courtney. I would like to mention a week ago today, major announcement. If you notice, Boresha, the actual name for Boresha is Boresha International, and we just officially launched in the Philippines 1 week ago, and very exciting. So if anybody can speak that language or knows contacts here that are Filipino or over in the Philippines, it would be very valuable to contact your office, and we'll give them more information.
Okay, as George said, I call him George, Mr. Najjar. He likes to be called George, but I mean, he's like the president. I can't call the guy George. The guy, Mr. Najjar, who's been on our show, says his mission is to take this all over the world. And is this the first place outside the U.S. that he's gone?
That's correct.
This is so it's in the Philippines. Why? Just as a question, why the Philippines?
I believe they're very friendly in terms of free enterprise. I think they like the U.S. government, and I think it was just a prudent thing to do. I mean, that's a country of over 90 million people. It's not a small country.
Well, for whatever reason, it was selected. I think there'll be a sort of a marathon. Who the next country will be, all we can say for sure is there will be another country, because Mr. Najjar says that's his goal, that is his mission, to take this everywhere. And so it now makes its first step outside of the contiguous United States, as well as Hawaii and Alaska, and that goes to completely different land. They got quite a relationship with the United States, obviously. I'm waiting for like Russia, okay? Could be a meaty country like Russia or Japan. I'd love to see that happen, and I'm sure it will.
I think it will.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Mitzos, for coming aboard this morning and give us what I believe to be a very inclusive and conclusive Boresha report. I look forward to be talking to you in the up-and-coming days. By the way, I want to give a shout-out for our good friend Lori Lankowitz out there. She's one of the Boresha representatives. And if I'm not mistaken, Lori, who's been on this show not too long ago, represents her own company called Balance for Wellness. She's a doctorate in physical therapy, and she's opened her new office on Route 8. I think everybody's moved. Is that right, Angelo?
I think as we speak, they're loading boxes.
They are loading or unloading. Anyway, it's happening, folks. Here's what I promise. As giving them a little time to open those boxes and put things away, I'll bring Dr. Lori Lankowitz back to talk about her new venue and let you people up in the north know that, and with her, and I think Dr. Wagner is interested in offering Boresha products. I don't know if he's on board yet, but we're bringing the word to you up there so you don't have to travel all the way down here, folks. It's going to be in your backyard. And more on the Lori Lankowitz move and the availability of her services as well as Boresha up in the northern part of the western Pennsylvania region. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Real quick, a plug for Dr. Dan Wagner. I think we will be supporting his 2-day women's wellness event. That'll be at the end of the month, Halloween, actually, Friday, October 31st, Saturday, November 1st, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can get more information on his program, which is on the same radio station, today at noon.
Well, there you go. You one-upped me. You one-upped me. I had no idea. What do you mean a Halloween? I've never heard of this before.
Well, I think anyone that wants to have all the chocolate that day, then we'll have the fat-burning coffee and we'll be okay.
All right. Dr. Mitzos, thanks for one-upping me. I'm glad to support Dr. Dan Wagner and whatever he's doing up there. I'm sure it's going to be a great public service that you really appreciate it if you live up there in the north. His offerings, and he's a friend of ours here. Glad to support him in any way possible. I'll learn more about it, folks, and I promise to bring it to you. So, thank you, Dr. Mitzos. I'll be talking to you soon, and go out and sell more of that Boresha. By the way, you're a doctor. Come on, do some doctoring too. All right.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Courtney.
All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
There you have it. The Boresha report from the guy who knows. Dr. Angelo Mitzos. He is a really accomplished podiatrist up there in the Newcastle area, but he's really passionate about Boresha. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We now open them up, folks. You can come on in here and set the agenda in any area that you feel it's important to sort of get it off your chest, get rid of that pressure that's built up all week, because it's really bugging you. Get an answer to your question by dialing us up. The number, 412-825-6262. We'll be back in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on the Friday morning version of the show. We've now opened it up to you. You can come on in at any moment and set the agenda as you see it. Question or comment, any form of communication is perfectly okay with me. The number to do that, as you should know by now, is dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for a knock on the door, and then I will let you in the store. We do have a knock right now. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
My question is about the product used for neuropathy. Is it
Medinex?
Medinex?
Okay. Yes.
Medinex?
Yes, ma'am. METANX. It's a weird spelling, but that's the name of the preparation made by one pharmaceutical company that puts together B12, B6, and folic acid in a preparation. So it's not really a drug, but it has to be sold by prescription because the quantity of folic acid is over the legal limit set by the FDA, which is over-the-counter folic acid can only be 800 micrograms or less per capsule. And this is 3 milligrams, literally 4 times as much. Okay?
And is it only for diabetic neuropathy, or is it for any form of neuropathy?
Any form of peripheral neuropathy. It's one of the indications for it. Now, it turns out that people that don't methylate well, and that is a genetic problem that they say 60% of the population suffers from what's known as and fancy here, MTHFR gene defect. That's a methylation error in the genetic code. It's pretty doggone common. You're almost a freak if you're healthy. 60% is a pretty large population. Anyway, if you can't methylate well, you can't ever get folic acid to its active form, which is called L-methylfolate. And if you can't get to the active form, you are predisposed of having these issues develop with respect to peripheral neuropathy. So that Medinex actually is folic acid, but it is in the active form called L-methylfolate. And if you don't take it directly in that way, you need to have 3 methylation reactions occurring on folic acid to ever get there. People with these problems can't get there. That's why that deficiency has to be corrected.
I'm recommending this to a friend of mine, and his concern is he'd like something like an article or something to take to.
Oh, first of all, this was not something that has been theorized. We first brought this concept to you with peripheral neuropathy, I'm going to say 2 years ago now. There was one article that was available to us, and we presented it on the air. I have it, but you should be able to go to Google up folic acid treatment for peripheral neuropathy, and it's easily available on the internet. So you just hadn't searched enough. Get to the internet. That one article is there for sure, and now there have been 3 or 4 or 5 more additional research programs that have confirmed that in peripheral neuropathy, this is the common link to all forms of peripheral neuropathy. And then the articles will confirm the fact that Medinex is the universally accepted way to get the folic acid thing corrected and to reverse the peripheral neuropathy. So, no, those research papers are out and they are available.
Great. That's great. Thank you. My last comment is separate. It was related to a week ago, the woman who spoke about the electromagnetic pollution and other things. I think
the woman who spoke about the electromagnetic solutions. I'm a little confused. Who?
The pollution. She was also speaking about. She was prior to the autism conference that was going on.
Oh, okay. No, we're talking about Patricia Lemmer.
Yeah.
Patricia Lemmer, who is Pittsburgh's gem when it comes to the issue of autism. And she was on our show because she had arranged for Barbara Fisher to come to town. That was last Friday and give a address to us on vaccines. So, question about Patricia Lemmer's comments with respect to EMF. EMF, of course, is electronic magnetic field interferences coming from our devices, and more research indicates that that kind of pollution is certainly on the rise and has consequences, neurological consequences. Behavioral disorders are just one of those consequences. I think that was the context in which it came up in our conversation, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I just had a comment about what she said in relationship to the pollution that comes off from all of this electrical devices, and it's even from lights and the electrical wiring in your house and all that. So it's bigger. But her comment was that there are people who are sensitive to it.
Oh.
And my point is that people that are sensitive are the canaries in the coal mines, but that doesn't mean that the average Joe is not also being affected. They just don't have overt symptoms, but there's stuff going on inside the body and brain, etc., from this. So the idea of thinking more expanded, if you just think, oh, that's just for those people who are sensitive, that really doesn't cover it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've come across, and it hasn't been in too far distant past, patients when this has come up that actually tell me they are so affected by these kinds of pollutions that they feel a hum. They actually feel their bodies. They use the word hum, and their awareness of it is so acute. They have to literally sleep in what's called a Faraday cage. They have Faraday cages built around their beds because that's the most quiet time where the perception of this humming sensation is the most. They can't sleep unless they put in a Faraday cage which shields them for it. Now, on the one hand, they're sort of, in one way, blessed because they know when they're in a magnetic free zone because they don't hum anymore. I, on the other hand, and I'll use myself as an example, I could be smack there in the middle of a field like that, and I wouldn't have any awareness at all. And so I'm the one who's really at risk. She's not, but you feel for the person like that because it's such an uncomfortable life when you're not sensitive. So it's a double-edged sword no matter how you look at it. But you made the point that I think needs to be made. Whether you are feeling it or not, you're being exposed. And the injurious aspects of those electromechanical waves are as critical for you as they are for her. She just has the perception and awareness of when it's occurring to them. I'm walking around dumb, fat, and happy, having no clue that something's going on, and I'm going to be suffering ill consequences as much as she has. So I get what would you rather be? I don't know how to answer the question. What would you rather be, ma'am?
Dr. Jeffrey Bland, years ago, he brought up the concept that just because your lab says that you have normal values, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't mean that you're healthy. And to me, this is kind of the same, concept.
It certainly is. And by the way, I always made a promise that when the word Jeffrey Bland was ever, I just quickly genuflected. That man's brilliant. Okay. Have you ever heard of him?
I want to add to bring to your, list awareness is in Pennsylvania. They are now installing, the utility companies are now installing smart meters on the house.
Yeah, what is a smart meter? I've heard that term before. What does that do?
Well, what it is, instead of it being an analog meter that they have to send someone out to physically read it, it's digital, wireless. They can read your electricity, your water, your gas from the office. So they don't have to send anybody out, which is great for them and cuts out some people's jobs, but probably, saves them money, whatever. But on the reverse end is the health effects can be pretty devastating. And in the literature that the electric company sent us recently, it said, what about health effects? And they said, well, no more. It's low-level radiation, which people seem to think isn't an issue, but it is. Low-level radiation that you'd get like from a microwave. I don't use a microwave. A cell phone. I try not to use a cell phone, or a baby monitor. And so they're making it seem very benign because you're already being exposed to that stuff. Just the fact that now the company's putting this meter on your house is going to be going 24 hours a day. It would be one thing if they read it once and turned on the wireless capacity and your house or your people in it just got zapped once, but it's 24 hours a day that this is going. And so there are, on the plus side, some states allow people to opt out of it.
Do we allow people to opt out in this state?
I haven't found that out yet. If the state does allow it, the company evidently charges you an extra fee per month.
Because they got to come in and read the usage, huh?
Right. And then the other thing is there are ways to kind of mitigate the effects. There's a real simple concept of putting a paint can with no top or bottom on it, and it kind of shields a good percent of that. So since I got this from my utility company, I'm now looking further into both of those aspects.
Well, you're my go-to person on this right now. You introduced a concept. I had heard the term smart meter. I'm completely honest. I never had it explained as well as you just did. I'm now always interested in anything that affects our health. So I'm going to be looking for people that I can bring on my show to talk about it more. And we got to find out whether you can opt out here in Pennsylvania and spread that message. I'm perfectly willing to use this show as a platform to make our listeners aware, just like we've done in all other areas. Now we got a new project, and thanks for passing me the baton.
And I'll get back to you when I find out.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your call today. Very illustrative. Okay. So the smart meter, huh? All right. I'll take it on, and we'll bring you more information about it in the near future. We got another knock on the door. Come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Dr. Courtney?
Oh, yes.
Hi. My mother has been pestering me to get a hold of you for a year now. My fiance was damaged with ultrasound on his neck and back.
Okay.
A physical therapist cranked it up way too high and disabled now.
Well, but when you put ultrasound that is used by the physical therapist, that's like cooking. I mean, that's like you might as well head to a skillet. You have fried the tissue very deeply. It penetrates pretty doggone deep. So
yes.
I'm already wincing.
He almost died that day.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's been 5.5 years. His shoulders are locked up. He's in constant pain. And my mother's been telling me about prolozone, and I was wondering if that might help him.
Oh, it, to me, is about the only thing that will, because no matter what the cause of the dysfunction of the tissue, and of course this is a case where there was damage and injury due to just heat, prolozone, of course, is a technique developed by Dr. Schallenberger, where we give locally ozone. And ozone, and here once again, I say this every couple of days, ozone is the only treatment I know that meets the common link to all disease and all dysfunction. In this particular case, there's sort of a combination of two things going on with your fiance, your boyfriend there.
Yes.
But ozone is able to restore the mitochondrial function, which right now in the muscular tissue of your boyfriend is really damaged. This is the only treatment that I know of that's able to restore the mitochondrial function back to normal parameters. The best of all tissue functioning is when there is a ratio in the mitochondria of being able to take in a mole of fat to burn and being able to form 36 moles of ATP, which is sort of the body's energy.
Right.
Now, that tissue of your fiance's probably, I'm just taking a guess now, maybe his ratio is able to form like 4 moles, okay, of ATP. So you got to get back close to, if not reach, 1 to 36 moles. The only treatment I know that does that is this prolozone/ozone approach, which to have a nice way to reach all diseases, in one way sounds like unbelievable, like, oh no, how can you keep using that stuff for no matter what somebody tells you? Well, the reason why you can is it meets the common link to all disease and all dysfunction, and if you can restore the ratio back to 1 to 36 or get close to it, tissue can come back. And that's, I guess, the message that I want to give to you to pass on to your loved one.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much. I also have some tips for you here. My father just ordered that those pills with the B6 in it, and
the Metanex?
He tried it yesterday.
Okay.
He said, "I can't believe the difference. Just one day."
No, come on.
No, I'm not kidding you.
See, this is the kind of stuff that I go, really? In one day? I'm so happy for your father that feels that way. And my skepticism always is, it doesn't sound believable to me, but I want you to have either you or your father's got to report to me how he's feeling in 1 month. Will you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing.
By the way, was he afflicted with peripheral neuropathy? Is that part of his?
Yeah, and he's had thermograms and all to show how extensive it is.
One day. Boy, what a great testimony.
He's tried so many different things. He said yesterday that he was actually getting a lot more feeling in his legs. It wasn't as tingly as it usually is.
Goodness gracious! I'm just amazed.
And
One day.
He has that MTHFR thing.
Yeah, MTHFR gene defect.
He
Sure.
tested for that. He has that, and also the lady who talked about the smart meters.
Yes.
If you go to oneradionetwork.com with Patrick Tony,
I know him.
and Google, look up in there in the search box, David Steinman. He is a fantastic electrical engineer who has shown so much about these smart meters and also just dirty electricity in the ground, where even cows are getting electrocuted from the dirty electricity going in. He would be great for your show.
You know what? You've just now given me the way to take this to the next step. I will go hunt Steinman down. I'll get him on the show, and Pittsburgh will be able to learn what you've evidently learned from the gentleman through Pat Timponi.
Yes, thank you very much. I thank you so much for telling me about the Prolozone and how you think it can help.
Oh, I really do think it can help, and let's pass it on and hope to see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. Folks, there you have it. We have bongos in the background now signaling our time out of here. Once you have a wonderful weekend, understand it's going to be a gorgeous one, huh? See you on Monday. Susie Weiss is going to be our guest on Monday in preparation for her visit here in the office on Thursday, the 2nd of October. That's at 1 o'clock. So with that in mind, if you think you want to be involved with it, call us 724-942-3002. And TLS tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Give us a call if you want to be involved with it too. Bye now.